Excellent!
Hey everyone, Paul here. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to my unboxing of the new Cooler Master Eisberg 240L Prestige closed loop CPU cooler. So let's take a closer look at the Eisberg 240L. Got the box right here. Of course you can see Eisberg 240L Prestige. I don't know what the Prestige implies, but it seems to make it more fancy. Liquid CPU cooler. It actually has a copper radiator, copper water block, uses microchannel and jet stream technology, so that's referring to the technology that's used in the actual block. Designed in Germany, hence the Eisberg moniker right there. Now let's take a closer look at some of the specs here. Over on the side we can see socket compatibility, LGA 2011, 1366, 1156, 1155, and 775. This will also fit the 1150 socket for the new Haswell CPUs, so pretty much got coverage for pretty much every modern Intel socket. For AMD, you got FM1, AM3 plus AM3, and AM2, so also coverage for all your AMD sockets. For specs, you got your dimensions listed right there, 280 by 124 by 30 millimeter. That's 30 millimeter thickness on the radiator. The actual radiator fins themselves are about 25 millimeters thick. Fan dimensions, of course, standard 120 millimeter. Fan speed 1600 RPMs, 60.2 CFM. Fan airflow, I should say. Fan noise of 20.5 decibels. Tubing is PVC, it's black, it's also got coiling around it to keep it from kinking. And there you can see the rest of the tubing protection, the pump info, the pump volume, and the pump specs. Cool thing they showed over at Computex this year was this cooler actually powering a Cosmos SE chassis, and they took the cooler, they added on what did they add? They added on like 3 more radiators to it. It's kind of silly because it was still just cooling the CPU, but it was really just to show that the pump that they've included here really has a lot of power, and you can actually expand this closed loop system, add on your own stuff, and kind of expand the system. So this is kind of a good jumping off into water cooling options. So if you want to buy this and use it standalone and then expand your loop in the future, you can. There's also a closer look at the specific dimensions of the radiator and the pump in case you were interested. Let's take a closer look now. You got your Eisberg manual, which is kind of tucked over. It's got all your details for installing the pump on your different types of sockets. It's also in different languages. Let's see, we got German. There's English. Okay, English manual right there if you guys want to take a closer look at the installation procedures, as well as all the accessories that are included, which I'm about to show you as well. Speaking of accessories, here they are in a nice little packet. Inside that packet we've got your brackets right there, so these are going to snap onto the side. Got a tube of thermal paste, of course, from Cooler Master. Here's the other side bracket. This is actually the AMD mounting solution, I believe. Alright, so long threaded screws. Again, the manual has all the detailed installation instructions. Some more long threaded screws, different lengths for the different sockets that you might use. Again, these are all clearly labeled in the manual, so mounting on this one, I've done it once so far and it's not too tough. You also have some longer screws here for mounting the fans. One interesting choice they went with is these are actually hex screws, which means you need an Allen wrench for them, which I thought was, we'll say, interesting. I'm not sure why they didn't go with Phillips head there. And then also finally the spring-loaded thumb screwable mounts that you see right there, and those make it a bit easier to actually mount the block onto your CPU. We'll finish with the cooler. Let's take a look at the fans. Pretty standard 120 millimeter fans you can see right here. They do include Cooler Master logo on the back. Braided cable. They're 3-pin fans, so you do have voltage control for controlling their RPMs. And then they do also include these little rubber grommets here, rubber standoffs, so you can use these to provide some extra sound dampening between the fans and wherever they're mounted to. And finally, the Eisberg radiator itself. And as you may or may not be able to tell, you got copper fins in here. You also notice you can see in between them. So the fin density is such that you still get a fair amount of airflow through there to help disperse the heat. You'll notice the mounting points, as this is a 120 by 240 millimeter radiator, hence the 240L moniker. You get a little bit of a reservoir kind of built in on either end, and then you can probably see the tubing out here, which has thumb screwable mounts there, and you got your inlet and your outlet down there at the end. And then it's got nice tubing. I actually really like the tubing on this unit. You'll notice the coil that's wrapped around there. That is to prevent kinking. So it's loose. It can actually slide a little bit on the tubing itself. That is going to be a great help if you are trying to twist this around or mount the radiator in a unique position. And then you have the block itself, which you can see copper base on the bottom. I'm going to give that a cleaning before I actually go ahead and install this. You have a clear window in to actually take a look at the pump, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure how you could actually install this and still be able to see the pump in action, because it's going to be up against the motherboard and you're probably not going to get a view of it, but it's still there so you can take a look. Kind of cool. Alright, and then on the top you got the Cooler Master Iceberg logo. Again, a nice braided cable here for your power. They've also provided you with an adapter, or actually that's just an extension. So 3-pin power for the pump, and then they provided a little bit of a braided extension here for the 3 pins. So if you do need to plug that in somewhere a bit further away, you can do so. And 3 pins on the end there as well. As mentioned, this is an expandable item, so you'll notice a fill port right there. If you're going to use this as a closed loop cooler, just leave this be. Don't undo that, because it does come fully sealed. But you can undo that, and you can buy your own tubing. You can expand your loop if you want to. And in case you're wondering here, the tubing is included is 5/16 of an inch inner diameter and 7/16 of an inch outer diameter. And that is going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Once again, I will be comparing the Cooler Master Iceberg 240L with the rest of the CPU coolers that I have scattered around the room here, including the Swiftech H220, the Corsair H110, which is over there, the Thermaltake Water 2.0 Extreme, which is currently in the system over there. I've been doing some testing already, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully I will have it up very, very soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and we'll see you all next time.